Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, the Silk wants to get your circadian rhythm in sync, a way to immortalize the Truffle Shuffle, and internet on your phone without a data connection? Yep, it's possible. So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of the KickCast, the podcast where we go out and find cool projects and let you know if you should backtrack or sack them. I am Ktdata, one half of the show, and joining me is a newly Best in Choreography awarded filmmaker, the one and only Drew Tyler. How you doing today, Drew?
Very good, very good. I had nothing to do with the choreography, by the way. In fact, I was the one complaining about it the whole time, so I'm glad we won that.
Are you? Oh man, I was gonna ask for you to do some live demos of this award-winning choreography.
No, it was awesome. I'll tell you, the choreography was stellar on this show. For those of you who don't know, 48 Hour Film Festival competed in 2 weeks ago. We talked about it, I think, right before I did the competition. We drew a musical, and so we made this awesome 7-minute musical. Twitch, we could link that in the show notes because I can share it now. It was awesome. It's fun for 48 hours, and we had hoped to win more awards, but what we did win essentially was Best Choreography. Out of 32 films, of which I think we were the only ones with any sort of choreography. But we had an awesome choreographer. He came in, and it was musical theater to the T. We did musical Broadway style theater. So we had people swinging and swishing their arms and rolling around, and also it was a blast. So my complaint was we would sit there, and 48 hours, you don't have a whole lot of time to shoot or do anything. But I would sit there and wait for a couple of the lead characters to get their steps right. And I walked away and played on the PlayStation for 45 minutes while they learned to dance, thinking, okay, well, I'll come back and I'll shoot it as soon as they're ready. So I stepped in as soon as they were done, and I was on playback for some of it. The dance was 7 seconds or less. It was 6 steps maybe, and it took them 45 minutes to even get to that point. You'll watch it. 3 guys do this little cowboy dance, and I watched them actually tape it, and they're like, okay, we got it. I was like, that's it? That's what I waited for? Oh! And of course, in the edit, it didn't even matter because we put 3 or 4 shots in it. It didn't matter if they knew how to do it or not. Anyway.
I don't know. I thought it was amazing, and I thought it was,
it's fun.
Very brave of you guys to use HDV tape.
That in and of itself is... Yes, we shot on mini DV. Insane.
I mean, you actually got sleep this time around, too, which is a new thing.
Yeah, I did pretty good.
I'm just telling you, next year, you can borrow the GH4.
Next year, because this is our 9th year, next year, I think I'm going solo with Bean. Me and my
What?
Yep, I think we're gonna do it by ourselves.
You're not even gonna do the full team for your 10th anniversary. You're just like,
nope.
I'm going indie.
Yep, this one musical is all we've been waiting for. So I think we're out.
Oh wow. Well then maybe you will use the GH4.
Maybe I will. In fact, you know what? I may want to talk to you about that later. All right. Something else.
All right, perfect. All right, so guys, first of all, if you first time watching the show, welcome. Thank you for joining us on episode 70. Seriously, dude, 70 episodes.
That's insane.
I think are we in our 3rd or 4th year? I don't know. It's all blending together.
If you do the math, I think we're pushing the middle of the 4th, right? 26 episodes a year. 26. Wow,
yeah,
pushing on the 3rd.
It's kind of crazy on there. So, but. First, welcome, guys. And, before we actually go into these projects, we like to cover some news. And today, for the first time ever in KickCast history, we actually have a balanced number of news articles on our 2 top crowdfunding sites. So, how about we get into this? Okay, so let's first start out with Indiegogo. You know them, right? Indiegogo.
I do.
On there, did you know that they have reported that users have raised over $500 million on their site? That's insane.
Well, that's pretty cool.
That's insane on there. But it's actually, the funny thing is the news article actually has that as the title. But what I thought was more interesting in this article right here is that actually they're talking about Indiegogo finally changing their fee structure. Because currently, right now, on their site, you get charged between 4 to 9%, depending on if you're doing a fixed funding or if you're doing a flexible funding on there. I think they take more of the flexible.
I was saying 9% is pretty steep.
Yeah, and then plus the credit card fees, which range from 2 to 5% on top of that, or 3 to 5% on that. The credit card fees I get because they don't control that. That's the credit card companies do that.
Right.
So starting July 15th, Indiegogo is actually switching to 5%. So no matter if you do the fixed funding or the flexible funding, it is all going to be 5% plus your credit card fees because they have no control over that. So if
That's
you're
a good deal. That's a good deal.
I actually like it because I think it now even makes it less different on where you should go, Kickstarter or Indiegogo on there. So it kind of brings them up to par on there because people always ask me, but I'm still a little more biased to Kickstarter because I've gotten burnt more times on Indiegogo than I have on Kickstarter. So
And you are pervasive in both. Like you are
yes,
wheeling and dealing.
yes. I think I looked at my Indiegogo backing record, and out of like the 4 or 5 things I backed on Indiegogo, I've gotten 1 or 2 of them.
Not good.
Yeah, on there, and one of them being costing me $1,000, which the guy's supposed to ship to me.
Ow.
On there. Okay, so for our second news, again, it's about Indiegogo. They're actually pushing out new tools, and Kickstarter just recently did this, and I don't know why they didn't do this sooner on there, but they're introducing new shipping tools for your perks. Because remember in the early days of crowdfunding, Drew, you'd read the description and then you'd read your perk and it said, please add $10 for shipping or something.
Right,
And then
you'd have to do it yourself.
Yeah, you'd have to manually do it. And I always hated that. And it honestly got to a point, especially on Indiegogo, where people would add another perk tier just for shipping that people could just pledge on there to make it. So now Indiegogo has introduced their new tier where you can actually go into each of your perks on their setup. Well, not only you can set up the shipping fees, you can even set up the countries where you want. So you can actually just do specific countries, regions, or just worldwide and everywhere in the world on there. So you have a good like granular control of it. So you don't have to go, especially in Europe, you don't have to go put in every single European country. You can,
that's nice.
put that in like that. So that's nice, and it is already live. So if you're on Indiegogo, setting up your Indiegogo campaign, you should be ready to go. And they take the money when the person contributes, so it's not like they get charged an extra $10 later or anything. So I think that is another great tool for people who are thinking going on Indiegogo, and I just don't know why it took them so long to do that, to be honest.
Right. Was that hard to code, or they have anything? I don't know. It doesn't. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. All right, and then one quick two pieces of news from Kickstarter. This first one's a quick one. If you live in Austria, Belgium, Italy, Luxembourg, or Switzerland, you are now able to start your own Kickstarter projects on there. So welcome
to the family.
Yep. That news used to be bigger, but I mean they're adding countries left and right now. Okay.
Yes, makes sense.
So, this is the one that I wanted to cover, especially for people who are looking to start their projects, thinking on what to do. On the Kickstarter blog, they actually have a guest post that tells you why it is important to keep updating your backers on there. And the one
we talk about that. We know that's important. So they actually had somebody come write about it. Huh?
Yeah, it's very important. And Dave Laturi, sorry Dave if I said your name wrong.
Laturi.
They've had I think they've done like 6 projects by their own self, and they've helped out with 10 other projects. So they know like this is not a one-off. They've done a lot of these things, and I like this line that Dave put in his article. Updates are an important component of the product you're creating. So it's not an afterthought. It should be part of what you're actually putting together when you put together your crowdfunding project. And then he gives you suggestions on what you can do. So, normally, you can do the obvious ones like the thank yous, the shipping updates. Those are really important to keep people in contact. Other ideas are like origin stories. So say you have an old sketch of the design, like a version 1.0 you had on a napkin. Scan that and send that in. People will like seeing that.
I love that stuff.
You have prototypes, tests, and failures. Put those into how it works, the bits and pieces of stuff. And those are the things. And what I like about it is like, even if it seems like a little thing to you, keep in mind you are the subject expert on whatever you're doing. So providing even what seems like just like a basic thing to you, to your funders, it goes a long way because they don't know a lot of this, and just seeing a little bit of that also helps. And he says, depending on your project, how often you update you should tailor to your crowd. But he said you should at least do it once a week, which I think it's not bad. Is doing it once.
No, that's not bad. That's not bad. I was gonna say there are some that I've had that go a little too often with the updates, and then there are some that are just right. The one that I'm really enjoying right now that's doing it just right for me is the guy that we talked about a couple of shows back did ink sketches for $1, and I kind of remember that one. It kind of blew out of the water, and he ended up getting tons. He does these perfect. It might be once a week, once every 9 or 10 days, but he has samples of some of the things he's drawn. He tells us, what's going on with things because he got so many responses. He's always
having a scaling
like,
issue.
yeah, exactly. But everybody's totally understanding, and they're like, "Yeah, it's cool. I'll get it when you get it." But the fact that it keeps updating and sharing some of the pictures, everybody's just getting more amped and excited about theirs when it comes. So I love him on updates. He's doing really good. Another one that I just really enjoyed update wise was I backed De La Soul. I'm a big fan of De La, and they did a really quick update where they just popped the phone around during one of the recording sessions, and there's like, "Hey, it's a new jam. This is what we're working on right now for this, and thanks for being backers. Thanks for the things that you've done." And that was just quick and easy. And they've done one of those since it's closed, and I hope to get more of that sampling. I think it's a key thing to keep people like in the know.
Yeah, I think it's great. The funny thing is, the last 2 video game projects I just backed are doing some of the best job I've ever seen with backer updates. What is it? The Bloodborne, right? Yeah, Bloodborne. They still keep updating left and right on there, and the Senmui or Shenmue. Why can't I?
They're doing updates.
They pretty much update every day on there, which is it shows you how invested they are, because there's a little controversy about it since they're not taking all the crowdfunding money, or not only the crowdfunding money, but they're getting outside investments to help build the game too. So people are like, why'd you come to crowdfunding on there? And it's kind of like the Veronica Mars of video games right now, is they needed to get the $2 million to be able to get the money from the other investors to show that people were interested on there. But anything they're going above now is going straight into the development of the game, plus any additional things. Because keep in mind, the original Shenmue games cost like 54 million and like 70. They cost, and the sequel was
really
120 something million dollars to put together.
Yeah. Whoa.
Keep in mind, this was early days, and this is literally one of the first pioneers of an open world RPG.
Right.
On there, so that that's where they're getting money, but they do good updates. Like one day they'll post up an update about the voice actor for one of the old guys, and another day they're like, hey, we're gonna do an AMA on Reddit and stuff. So keeping updated, I think, is a very important thing, especially after you funded, so you don't look like you just ran off with everybody's money.
Right. Yeah, it does make sense.
Because one of the ones that actually annoys me the most is the one on Indiegogo that I actually backed $1,000 for. The dude updates like once every 2 months, and he gives me the exact same excuses over and over. And if you actually look at his page, well, prior to he's doing something sneaky where he's pruning off people asking for updates. But people were asking for updates left and right on there.
Well, yeah, they should, because they've probably given quite a bit of money, and this one's been like a year and a half or more.
It's almost 2 years now. It's ridiculous.
It's late.
It's ridiculous.
It's time to back out.
Yeah. All right, so let's go on to some projects on here. And so
we got some shows.
Do you ever have this problem where you have a hard time going to sleep at night, or having a hard time waking up?
Waking up is my hard thing. I have no problem going to sleep because I usually just play until I'm sleepwalking in my video games. That's my nightly ritual nowadays. But waking up is hard.
So you've probably heard about these news saying that your computer monitor is causing people to have bad sleep cycles and stuff. And
the blue light,
the blue light on there. So first of all, not only do your computer monitors do it, LEDs tend to do it too on there. So, and of course, we're all switching to LED bulbs now from the CFLs. I mean, the studio right now, I'm using LED bulbs on there. And so Saffron decided to come out with a project called the Silk. And the Silk is actually a light bulb, an LED light bulb that actually changes its color temperature during the day. So we mentioned this before. Color temperature is how the color of the light that you're seeing. So if you see that blue light, that's closer to a 5400 or a daylight balance. So it feels like the middle of the day. So that's why when you're looking at your computer in the middle of the night, your body thinks that it's the middle of the day because it's seeing that blue light on there. And then more of your that golden feel that you get is closer to 2700 kelvins on there between that spectrum. So what the Silk does is, depending on what time of day, it's going to show closer to a 5400 Kelvin if it's, say, around noon. But if it's like 6, 7 at night, it's going to start slowly shifting over. So it doesn't like just switch between the two. It just does a graduation between all of them. All right, and that what that does is actually helps sync your circadian cycle, because your body is actually running on this schedule and it uses light. So before we had normal lights, it used the sun to tell what time of day it is, and that's how it kind of regulates what kind of chemicals and whatnot lets out in his body. So if it doesn't know it's night, it tends not to release out melatonin, so you have a hard time sleeping on there. And then if it thinks it's closer to night, you have a hard time waking up because it doesn't know it's day yet. So what it does, since your light bulb is on for good half day, and sometimes if you're in office all day, it helps kind of keep you from getting that thrown off. The actual what it comes with is a light bulb and then a hub on there, and then so you can see the light bulb right here that screws into your normal light bulb socket. You set up the hub with your Wi-Fi and you are good to go on there. And say if it does everything else automatically, but say you're like, oh, it's too blue right now, I want it to be a little bit more warm on there, you can actually log in with your smartphone app and control it from there. Or this one I think is great, is you can actually use your light switch and flip it on and off using a predetermined pattern to actually change the behavior of the light bulb on there. So
so if you like
so if you want to just turn it off,
Morse code that
just
thing.
do one switch. But if you want a little bit more blue light, you just flip it twice real quick, and then it'll go a little bit more blue. And then if you want it to dim slowly, you just flip it 3 times, and it'll just slowly dim for you.
I would love that.
Is that not cool? And that means you don't have to install any wires. You don't need to find your phone. It's just your normal light switch that you're already familiar with.
I love this idea.
And you can actually control like in the app itself, you can start putting recipes together and control exactly. So if you're really super nerdy and you're like, well, I like to have my lights exactly at 43,000 kelvins, you can actually do it in this app, which is kind of
you need help if that's what you're doing. You need some help, but you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah. I don't know. So what do you think about this, Drew? Does this sound like it fills a need that you may have?
Wholesomely, the inside of my soul, I feel like, yeah, this sounds hippie-ish and right? I'm going to try and avoid the blue lights. I want to be nice and calm and wake up in the 2700s and go to sleep in 27. But at the same time, the hip, cool, jivey kind of guy inside of me says, I want to be able to turn on disco mode. I want more than just, I don't know. And it's probably because it's, if you're LED, can you not also give me some options for like purple and green?
Maybe, I guess maybe on like the next version of this on there.
Well, I mean, so that's the thing, is like those exist, and I can go get a hue from Philips and play with the lights. But that gets really expensive.
But for one hue, you can get 3 of these circle bulbs in a bulb. And
so that, I guess that's what I don't get. Like, is it maybe this LED is not able to do more than just one kind of light color? You know what I mean? Like it goes blue and orange.
Yeah.
I feel like
it probably only has the blue and the orange LED, because you actually have to have multiple LEDs to fit on the circuit board.
So throw one more in there and give me my disco ball. For me, it's a track. I'll watch this one go. I think pricing is right. 3 bulbs plus the app for $99 is a great back. It's a great level to back at. Extra bulbs at $25. I mean, that's almost I pay for an LED as it is, about 15. So that's not bad. They've got a lot of traction already. 203 backers, almost 15,000. So they're about a little over a tenth of the way there, 15% of the way to their goal. I think they're on the right track.
Yeah. For me, it's a back. I like it. The only problem is, I'm not at home a lot.
That's true.
So that's one of the problems. And the other problem is I'm under 5,400 Kelvin lights a lot too, because I'm in the studio, and the studio, actually the camera I'm using actually balances better with daylight, closer to daylight colored lights. So yeah, I'm usually having this, so that's already screwing up my sleep cycle. But maybe I can stick them in and then like mid-show, like recolor balance all the time. That's not going to get annoying at all, right?
No, that would be painful. No, everything's daylight balanced.
All right.
TV people.
Yeah. All right. So That is the silk, and our next project is going to take us down memory lane.
Oh,
And
way down.
And I didn't even know that it's been 30 years on our next project, Drew. So,
It's true.
Take everybody through this journey.
We all remember the Truffle Shuffle. We remember Sloth. We remember the big giant pirate ship, all the jewels. Remember that part where Mouth fills his mouth full of all of the jewels, and they're like, "Whoa, you just got quiet all of a sudden." And turns out he's got all these pearls and stuff shoved in his mouth. Talking about Goonies, of course. What a wonderful, fantastic show. I can't remember how many times I watched that because I could only watch it when I went over to my cousin's house because we didn't have like cable type TV. So when it was on, I would schedule my playtime. Like I would look through their little catalog and be like, okay, tomorrow at 3:00, the next day at 4:00. Like I would go and watch every chance I got. Love the Goonies. So here's a project that I think is totally unique, wild, and crazy, and I want to see it happen. So we're giving it a little kick. They just launched this beautiful idea, and they want to make a Goonies statue out of old Goonies DVDs. So the way they kind of pitch this out is basically we see a lot of extra Goonie DVDs at the like Smiths and at the Fresh Market. You see the DVDs sitting there in that like dollar bin, and so this I don't know if it's a team or if it's a single guy, but they basically want to raise money to buy all the Goonie DVDs that they could possibly buy and make a statue out of the DVDs. I don't know.
I for some reason want this to happen. I don't know why.
It needs to happen.
I mean, this is
a statue.
Those, yeah.
You've never seen it. Now I want to see it. So it's a great idea. He says this. I love this. He's like, well, it may sound like a funny Kickstarter campaign, and it is. But the next time you go to the store and you see 20 of those Goonie DVDs just sitting there on the shelf collecting dust, I want you to think, wouldn't you rather see those being made into a glorious Goonie statue? Yes, I would.
My question is, what is the statue gonna look like? He doesn't have like a sketch or anything.
He doesn't, and I think if one of the reward levels or several of the reward levels is you get to send an idea. So you send him $1, he'll give you a virtual thanks and a hug. Put your name somewhere on the statue, and you get to send him one idea for what the statue will be. So I think that's kind of an okay thing to say. I want to make a statue. I don't know of what. We'll see how many of these we get and who backs. He's aiming for $500, which $500 you could probably buy
500 Goonies DVDs without tax.
Yeah, make something about this size. I think contributing to it and just knowing that it would be out there somewhere would be good enough for me. Like I think that would be just fine. For some of the rewards, you can get a digital picture, and I don't know. This is a project that needs a little sharing and it needs a little bit of love. So for me, it's a back, and I will be throwing some money because I think it's a great idea. Oh, I didn't see this, but his pledge, the $1,000 tier, you get the statue.
Oh, all right. Who wants to go in with me to drop 1,000? We're gonna have it right next to the 8-bit light.
Put it in we'll put it in the studio.
This will become a studio set piece. It'll just be right next to the 8-bit light. I will move this headphone. I will move a headphone, guys.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
The video on this page is awesome too. It's just playing like Sarah McLachlan's sad songs while Goonie DVDs are like burning in the fire or hanging in a tree, and it's like, oh, I would much rather see that be something. So that's me. That's my back for the night. I love the make a Goonie statue project.
Oh, I love it. All right, so our next project on there, and might I say, this third project was fan voted, and it was very heated on which project was going to be picked. This won by one vote, and the fact that the other one got funded. On there. So, Drew, have you ever had this problem? You're out traveling, and then, especially out of the country, your data connection's really spotty on there, or it's if you're out of the country, it's like $100 per megabyte or something like that. Out there, so it's ridiculously expensive to do that, but you needed to look something up.
I've done that. Yep.
So you're like searching for a Wi-Fi network, hoping that no one's going to steal your identity and stuff, right? So our project here, the Bleep, is attempting to solve this problem. So
Bleep.
Pretty much, you're going to get internet on your phone without actually having a data connection on there. Okay. So what it does is it's sort of you have to have an SMS connection. That's the thing. So what it does is there's an app on the SoBleep where you actually put together a syntax in 140 characters that you send to the SoBleep servers using their default number on there, and then from there, their server interprets what is written in the text, and then goes and Googles information, and then sends it back, and then you get a text with the information that you need on there.
Oh, so having no data access, you can still basically get a service to do the search for you or figure something out and send it back.
So on there, so as long as you have an SMS, you're going to get an answer, and so this is kind of what you would see on your phone right there. You see the telephone of the place, you see how far the walk is, and then where a place to park and everything. So this is the information you get via SMS, and they're not storing any of the information. So anytime you send that query, they actually actively go search Google for your answer and then bring it back on there. So some of the things that you can actually search for are points of interest near a specific location, walking directions. You can translate text. Get the weather forecast, search Wikipedia, get stock quotes, and local emergency numbers on there. So there's a little catch though. Depending on there's in-app currency on there to create these queries on there, which they call bleeps. And depending on the kind of search you're doing, it costs different amounts of bleeps. And of course, the more bleeps you buy, the less cost per bleep thing on there. And so this is actually an app already on iOS. There, and what they're trying to do is actually get an Android and a Windows Phone version out.
That's partly why they're running. Okay, there's plenty of bleeps on my phone. I bleep and stuff all the time. I mean, I just lots of bleeps in my day. I don't have an allotment really of how many bleeps, but so this bleep, why bleep? That works.
I don't know. I like the idea of this, but I do not like the microtransaction portion of this.
Yeah, it seems like it should be like just a service that's offered. Exactly. Without the microtransaction, there's got to be another way to fund it.
Yeah, because what happens is you're paying for an SMS on there. It's not bad if you have an unlimited plan, but if you're out of the country, you could be paying like 25 cents per SMS or something like that. Then you got to pay for the price of the bleep, and depending on where you're going and how many bleeps you use and how many searches you do, it might end up being the same price as just buying a data plan out of the country.
Right.
Yeah. So Laser Norm says it seems weird that they're assuming you have GSM coverage and no data. What the aim of this is, they're assuming that you're going to be roaming on your data. So usually when you're out of the country,
turn off your data roaming.
Yeah, you don't want to pay like $3 gazillion because it is like literally $3 gazillion when you go out of country for most of these carriers on there.
A lot
on there. So that's kind of their idea on there. But yeah, the microtransactions is totally what turned me off on this. I'm like, this is actually a pretty interesting idea on there. But just right when I saw the microtransaction, I'm like, on there. So I don't know. What do you think about this, Drew?
That's kind of where I'm at. I think, first of all, I don't understand what the bleep is. I mean, maybe it's a UK thing. I don't know, but I don't love the name. But I don't know. It seems like a good, solid idea. The fact that they have an iOS app going means that they either have some funding or this is somebody's like passionate project. It's been launched for, I don't know, probably a week or two. I don't know. Does this look like a 60-day project? It's hard to see.
It launched, about a week ago.
About a week ago. They've only got 3 backers at $100. And it tells me that either this is like a side avenue of them trying to find some traction, or
so they actually mentioned that they do work for large corporations, and this is kind of a side thing.
Okay, so it's just like a project that somebody's loving. I like the design. I'll give you that. I do like the UI. The design's kind of clean and fun and simple. I'm with you. I'm not sure the business model is what I could get behind. So I'll track it. I'll watch where it goes, but I'm not climbing on board this train.
Yeah, for me, it's a track too. And Laser Norm even says it's like it might just be cheaper to go get a prepaid phone from where you are, on there. Okay.
Right.
So, and that was the SoBleep, and then of course the last thing, which I don't know, people probably wait for this, is the sack of the week.
And there's so many to choose from.
Oh yeah, this was tough on there, but we decided to do this. So, Drew, have you ever had the situation where like, man, that is a really good idea. I should do that, but then you never do it, right?
All the time. I get ideas a couple of times a day.
Mm-hmm. So this project is called the Startup Coin, and on one side of it is pretty much a picture of people holding out money. So that's like the go do it, and then on the other side is the try again side. So essentially, you just flip the coin until you get to the money side, and it forces you to go do it.
It makes a decision for you, so that if you want to see if an idea is viable, you flip the coin, right? Comes up heads, you're like, all right, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
If it comes up try again, at least it's encouraging you to think more.
At least I think that's the point of the coin, but I'm not sure because this is the subtitle. Flip the startup coin, and when it's in the air, you'll know what side you're hoping for. Okay, on there.
It's making up my mind for me.
Yeah, and
it's a pretty coin.
Yeah, it's a pretty coin.
I think I'd like to have one just because it's a pretty coin. It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, but this project does not do a good job in describing on what the purpose of this coin is at all.
It looks like it's not quite English. Like, I decided to make this coin after I run several failed startups, so it is a totem just to be sure if the next trial will be successful or not. So grammatically, it's like missing a few things, but perhaps it's a funny thing. I think it's just kind of a humorous. Like, I know it's humorous, but I mean, like, even project might be. I don't know.
Laser Norm says this will be awesome right until you listen to the coin more than your wife.
But honey, the coin
just said try again.
I'm selling everything, and we're moving to Texas to start up a food truck.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't give you any, like, his story's kind of weak. It doesn't, approach you. He wants $500 on there. I mean, that seems.
He does have a picture of the coin.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Here's that on there.
Pretty.
But I don't know. I don't see the need for this, and the project again just seems thrown together. And so that is why that is the sack of the week on there. All right, Drew. I don't know where the time goes, but that is the end of another episode of the KickCast on there. For all you people watching live, sorry that we didn't record on a normal day, but Drew was busy winning awards because he's famous and stuff like that, and all the cool things, right?
Sorry.
On there,
cheesy award
on there, but no, I'm excited on this. So if you do watch live, our next episode's going to be July 7th, unless you have a surprise party for Randall, 2015, and you can find that at live.kickcast.com, and we always encourage you to come because it's always a fun time in the chat room, and you do see things that happen before and after.
Yeah, we chitter chatter
on there, so that's always good. And if you have ideas for sacks of the week or regular projects, please send them our way. KickCast@ktdata.net, or on Facebook, facebook.com/KickCast, or on Twitter @KickCast for the show, or @Night20 for that beautiful choreography. Man,
I hate the choreographer
over there.
Ease.
Yeah. Or me for Ktdata, and we always love hearing what you guys have to talk about, and always pay attention to the social media sites, because usually on the day that we're recording an episode, you can vote for that third project. Like this time, everybody voted for the So Bleep. Honorable mention to the vertical turntable on there. I think Rev mentioned that one already exists, but I don't think one actually already exists. This is the only one that I've seen.
And another honorable mention, because I almost pulled in the strap hat, which I thought was a pretty great project. A viewer wanted us to do the strap hat, where it's basically your ball cap with a chin strap. Who wouldn't want that?
Yo, bro.
It's a bro hat.
Yep.
So you missed it.
All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed the show. And Drew, do you got anything to plug before we go?
Little Big Cast, always rocking out and having a good time. We just recorded our episode 59, I think. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be out tomorrow on your iTunes. So make sure you're subscribed to that, because we talk about all of our E3 wishes and wants, and that's always fun. Other than that, I will be spending some time traveling and running and gunning this year. I haven't done that for a little while. Fancy. But I've got some fun stuff in the works for me to get out in the world and shoot stuff. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Little Big Cast, you should go watch the 2-hour Sony press conference just to see me freak out over the Shenmue Kickstarter.
Yes. Yeah. You freaked out about that. And then I think Robin freaked out about the Final Fantasy VII remake. I was geeking out about No Land. Was it No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky.
That was fun, and then it was pretty funny because during Call of Duty, we all just kind of took a snooze.
Yeah,
and
everybody
like,
took a break, and then they all left me to entertain the masses for a good 5-10
That was a
minutes.
fun show. You should definitely go see that. That was a fun show.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Drop an inch. Just make sure you don't drop a loaf.
Welcome to the show, loaf dropping time.
Welcome to the Loaf Droppers, the podcast about loaf dropping. Joining me today is the Master Loaf.
Master Loaf Dropper, welcome. Would you like to see my loaf dropping face?
Now that's a podcast that would go straight into #1, right?
That's right, loaf dropping.